Alright, here we have DS4. We're going to do the same categorization exercise we just did in DS3. So the first thing I'm going to do is, obviously you can see there's no content showing is new. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to scan known directories for files. I'm going to get a warning telling me I'm doing so, and then I'm marking them as new, and I click accept. And now I cannot tell that the app is doing anything. Now there is actually here, look, there's a percentage bar, but it took me a while to realize that that was actually there and that something was actually occurring. If we were to bring up the task manager and show processes from all users, you can actually see that the DS Studio app itself is not doing anything. It's more or less idle, and that the content management service has one CPU and is pegged, and that's where all the work is occurring. Hopefully you can see that my task manager window came up. Not sure if it captured in this video or not, but as you can see, we're still at 0%, 1%, and now it's moving along pretty good. But we can't tell actually how many files it's added or anything along those lines, which were nice features in the DS3 categorization, because you had an idea whether or not something installed correctly just based on how many files were showing up. So this is moving along, 20%, 22. I really don't have to talk through this, but it's my nature to keep babbling, so I will. While we wait on this, my big gripe with this whole process in DS4 is the fact that in order to categorize something, I'm forced to look at the old poser style directory structure and library formats. In DS3, everything appears right there in unassigned, and off I go. I see it in one place, it's easy to get to, and it's done. And as you'll see here in a moment when this thing finishes, in DS4 that's not the case. You know, or rather, it may be the case in terms of it's all in the DS Studio folder and all in the Poser Formats folder, but the nesting is so deep and it's interspersed with so many other folders that it doesn't have the same it's in one place kind of feeling that you have in DS3. And it will quickly become clear once this finally finishes what I'm talking about. And 70%, 71, we're cooking along. I'm not convinced that this process is as fast as the DS3 process, but I haven't timed just the scan process on either of them, so I can't really comment about that. I can just tell you from my gut feeling standpoint, it feels slower. I feel like I've been talking longer. We're getting close, hopefully. And I'll shut up for a second. Alright, here we go, 99% and done. Okay, so now here's an interesting thing. You'll note that it shows both the DS Studio folder and the Poser Formats folder have new content. I click on that, I click on Gen4 Female, which is the runtime / content directory pairing that I installed this product to, and looky here. There's nothing in this folder below Gen4 Female that's showing as having new content, despite this folder showing that it does. I'm convinced that that's because it's showing as needing new content here. So I'll ignore that for the moment, and I'll come here and I'll click on Gen 4, and I'll wait. I'll go into figures and I'll wait, and now comes the problem. In DS3 I would immediately see the folder where my content was. In DS4 let's see, this is nope, that's not right. And so we scroll down and we scroll down And we're still looking, and there it is. Finally, I found the folders. So I grab them all and I right click and I categorize. I get my pop-up window, people, Gym 4, Victoria. This part is pretty much the same. Clothes, sci-fi, costumes. I'm going to create a new, I'm going to type techno, tabby. I'm going to copy that. And now, wait a minute, there it is. I'm going to create a new subcategory. And I like that, by the way. That feature is back. It used to be in DS2 where you could create subcategories and categories at the same level. Right now in DS4 you can only create categories in the same level. In DS3 you can in sublevels. And in DS3 you can only create categories at the same level. So we want both back. But there we go. I'm going to click that, click accept. And then I'll repeat the process here once that's finished. Okay, is it finished? Maybe. Why aren't those marked as new? I selected all a moment ago. I hope that's categorized. I don't know that's categorized because I have no feedback letting me know that it was successful. In DS3, once I've categorized it, it disappears out of unassigned. I know it's categorized. So switch to poses here, and we are presented with the same problem here. Poses, scroll, 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 still scrolling, still scrolling, still scrolling, still scrolling. Yeah, you get the idea. Oh, there it is. Happened to be lucky you found it. There we go. We select that. Control A to select all, right click, categorize, do the same thing. This part is about the same. It's really the hassle and the difficulty of finding things inside the poser file structure, which I am forced to use in DS4, even though that's probably the most unintuitive thing ever. Note that even though I selected all, it didn't mark all that content viewed, so I've still got to go here and mark that as seen in order to get that to disappear. I'm going to be good here, and I'm going to go back to my categories and to people. This is another bug, by the way, how long it takes to simply display categories. I've got a different bug filed on that and different videos for that. But as you can see, this is kind of unusable, slow, or certainly while it might be usable, it's extremely aggravating. And so Techno Tabby, oh good, everything appeared. Looks like I got it all, but again, I had no feedback that I did. I had no way of telling that it was categorized. And that's my gripe with the way categorization and this whole methodology of being forced to view the DAS native directory and poser format directories in order to do categorization.